My name's Gerry Proctor and I'm Chair of Engage Liverpool. And I'd like to welcome all of you here to the second seminar in our 2016 seminar series, Reclaiming the City from Consumer and Stranger to Citizen and Neighbour. And welcome to this delightful Grade 2 listed venue. The recently opened Aloft Hotel, formerly the Royal Insurance Building, which was the head office of the Royal Insurance Company. Work started on this building 15 years after the opening of the building we were in 2 weeks ago, and lasted from 1896 to 1903. Designed by James F. Doyle, he was also the architect of Albion House and the original Liverpool Royal Infirmary. But this building was his greatest achievement. Built in a neo-Baroque style, it was the first building in the UK to be constructed around a steel frame. Last week's seminar, From Consumer to Stranger, inspired many of us to rethink about how society defines us, and in turn we define ourselves. John Alexander encouraged us to become part of a global movement of people, drawing strength from being citizens who think, behave and act in a new way. Tonight's seminar takes us to another level, where we move from stranger to neighbour. City centre living is designed mostly around isolation and individualisation, which creates strangers and separates us from one another. But the truth is, we are also neighbours who don't know how to act from within that reality. Engage hopes that tonight's speaker will enable us to revisit the idea that we are neighbours and explore how we can become more neighbourly. Claire Devaney, who's a Liverpool writer, writing her first blog in a news site called Citizen Eye, states, and I quote, "When you start with people, you do everything differently. People are the new place. Citizenship is the new placemaking." Engage has a passion for creating neighbourhoods in the city centre, but there will be no neighbourhood without neighbours, no placemaking without people to make it. The founder of the Big Lunch and the Eden Project, Sir Tim Smith, wrote in an article in the Eye newspaper on the 10th of June this year that he agrees with the value of starting with people, and stated his firm belief in the power that emerges when people act together. He speaks of human warming in a way that he says could eradicate global warming. To quote from him, "To do that successfully, we will need to build bonds of trust between individuals, groups and nations at a level that has never been witnessed in history. Social cohesion," writes Tim Smith, "is of paramount importance. And the first step is to get to know those alongside whom we live." That is the theme of tonight's seminar. Engage is delighted to be bringing to Liverpool over the next two seminars two wonderful international speakers, tonight from Paris and in 2 weeks' time from Rome, to continue a conversation begun in our first seminar about reclaiming the city as a space for real human encounters and for the genuine empowerment of the civic body. I'm going to repeat what we commenced at the first seminar, taking Gandhi's words, "To be the change you want to see." So will you just turn to the people behind you, in front of you, alongside you, introduce yourself, and just say where you've come from within the city centre. If you live in an apartment block, which block you live in. If you're from somewhere else, just say where you're from. So just an introduction to those around you for just 2 seconds, please. Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody. You are going to get another opportunity. Okay? Can I ask you to... This is the trouble with Scousers. Once they start talking, you can't shut them up. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. That was really good. And now it'd be great if we can carry on. In a moment, I'm going to introduce our speaker. And then, following his presentation, you'll be given a few moments to share your first impressions or reactions with those around you. And I can see you don't have no problem doing that. Then we'll ask our panel members for their brief reflections, following which I will open the discussion to everyone. We'll bring the proceedings to a close by 7:30. So let me welcome and introduce our three local panellists this evening. On my right, on your left, at this end we have Councillor Tim Beaumont, who is the mayoral lead for city wellbeing. Next to him in the centre is Dr. Evan Williams, who is from the Love Canning Neighbourhood Forum, and I'm sure Dr. Williams will tell us a little bit about that when his time comes. And on the far side, Professor Rhiannon Corcoran, who is the Academic Director at the Heseltine Institute for Public Policy and Practice. So please tweet during the seminar, and the hashtag is, as you can see on the screen, Reclaiming the City, and we are at Engage Liverpool. I want to thank our sponsors, Mother Living, who've made this possible. Before I introduce Atanas, you may be wondering who the other person is. Paul Jones, who's a lecturer at Liverpool John Moores University, has kindly agreed to accompany Atanas to help him if he has difficulties with his English into French, or maybe when he's speaking his French into English. And Paul will be there just to shout out a word or two and support. So if you're here talking the London route, they're facilitating the experience so that Atanas understands fully what we're saying.